She carries the weight of the fragile mind, but still she chooses to be strong. Namaste everyone. I am Diksha, a third year medical student from Patton Academy of Health Science, and today we are going to discuss on something very important and that defines us. That is woman in neurosurgery, where courage meets consciousness and become the part of the true healing process.
Namaste, I am Dr. Swastika, currently working as an intern doctor at Patton Academy of Health Sciences. So neurosurgery is highly demanding physically, mentally and emotionally. And when we look at it from the lens of a woman, it becomes even more complex. Maybe that's why, and that's exactly why it matters.
As aspiring doctors, we are fascinated by the brain. But even more than that, the courage to operate on it. As we know, brain being the small but complex, intricate, delicate organ that is supposed to become our identity, which is the center of the attraction for our identity. And today, through the platform of the NIMA Academy, we are here to sign our voice through this platform. And I would like to thank you for this opportunity to the NIMA Academy.
So Diksha, let me ask you, what made you interested in neurosurgery?
For me, it's the idea that brain is not just an organ, but it's something very intricate, complex organ where every emotions, every attachment are attached with it. And the neurosurgeons work right there. And I think that's what drew me in. The combination of precision, responsibility, and the purpose, it's not just about the surgery, but it's preserving a person's critical life.
So, but when we talk about neurosurgery in Nepal, especially women in neurosurgery, we cannot ignore the reality. In Nepal, there are around 114 to 120 neurosurgeons, and out of those numbers, only 5 of them are women. And this gap is huge and it cannot be ignored.
So, Didi, my question is why? Why there is such a huge gap?
The part of it is structural. So, the neurosurgery itself, it demands a long working hour and unhinged training, and also the lifestyle that does not always align with the society expectation that the society put upon a woman. And it's also internal because women, they are conditioned to doubt themselves even before trying, and they are trying to shrink themselves. So that's why they usually do not choose this pathway.
Exactly, Didi, you are right. And there's also additional role played by the environment, that is the subtle biases, fewer mentorship and less opportunity that drags the woman down to become the part of this aspiring journey.
Yeah, that's right. But I think that's also slowly changing, Diksha, because it's not about incompetence or lack of capability, but it's actually about the exposure and the belief and also the opportunity that the women get. And I think that's shifting slowly.
And there's the challenge. Neurosurgery is assumed to be one of the toughest fields, but the toughest fields are those that will drag more towards becoming the stronger, resilient and the better version for ourselves.
I think it's not just about becoming a neurosurgeon, but it's about becoming someone who can be calm in chaos and someone who can make the decision under pressure. And in neurosurgery, one decision can mean either recovery or a lifelong of disability.
And maybe that's the real attraction. It's not just about the surgery, not just about the emotion, it's about the transformation of a person's life to preserving it to the better version. So Swastika Didi, what inspired you to want to pursue in neurosurgery?
So for me, I know about Maya Bhattachan, Dr. Maya Bhattachan, who was the first neurosurgeon in Nepal. And see, when you read her interview or when you look at her interviews, there's one thing that stands out to me, and that is like she always talks about women who should be bold. Like women should be bold, and we should not shrink ourselves. And I think that stands out the most for me.
Exactly. I was also scrolling through the YouTube and I found about the famous personality that is Dr. Namrata Khadka, who is an aspiring neurosurgeon. And when I just read her interview, she mentioned something that is very interesting to me. Like she mentioned that the surgeries performed by the female are way more better than the male. Have you gone through any kind of the research paper?
Yeah, I also went through that article that was in some European journal, and it also talked about women having more superior manual dexterity in comparison to male, and in other non-technical areas as well, like communication style and patient satisfaction. Also, the women surgeons, they were more better in comparison to male.
Yes, when someone come with the traumatic injury, it's not just a single medical case. It's the emotions that we are dealing with the patient and their family. Are there any stories that inspire you truly?
Yes, Diksha. Do you remember, like in medical humanities, we were taught about an abstract from a book called When Breath Becomes Air by Paul Kalanidhi? I read that book during my internship year, and it really changed the way I looked at neurosurgery, because there were emotional component as well as the hardship of the neurosurgeon, and the book also depicted in such a good way about the life and death scenarios, and that was really inspiring to me. Diksha, if you had to say it in one feeling, what does neurosurgery mean to you?
It feels like a calling, not because it is something prestigious, not because it is something very difficult, but the way we can be in their patient's vital and the critical moment, it is something that we can change their life for forever.
Yeah, you said it beautifully. Like the things that you said about the calling, it was also mentioned in that book by Paul Kolanidhi, and you described it so beautifully.
And I want to be there in those critical moments where every second matter, where the families are holding on to the hope and when a life can change forever.
Yeah, I think this journey doesn't just train your hands, but it also changes your mindset. And as a woman, even though there are fewer women's right now, but I think the scenario is changing as per the society's expectation changes over time, and I think it's changing.
And maybe that's why neurosurgery attracts us. The everything that demand from us, like the long intense hour, the resilience that we want to offer to this field, is something that makes us the bolder version of ourselves.
Yeah, you are right. It was wonderful talking to you about us aspiring neurosurgeons, and about women in neurosurgeons, Diksha.
Thank you, Didi. You just re-energize me and also provide the insights that are really valuable, and also I believe it is really impactful in making the foundation to pursue my further neurosurgery journey.
Thank you for listening to Neuronotes.
Thank you for listening again. We hope our story will make you dream even more bigger, and the most difficult path will be walk with most comfortable way. Thank you.